Hi there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video, and welcome to episode 131 of Ask Boss Bounty. This is of course a weekly series that drops every Sunday where I take your questions from the comment section below and do my very best to answer them. So if you do have a question for next week's episode, leave them in the comment section below. They can be about absolutely anything. They can be about recent reveals, upcoming figures, my general opinion on the state of collecting, my channel, anything you like. And if you want to be featured next week, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Alright then, so if you do happen to enjoy this week's episode, leave a like down below and we'll get straight on to the first question. Scott Layton says, question for next week. Now that the ARC Troop Jessie has been revealed as VC 250 courtesy of Mile High Ground, has VC 188 been well and truly forgotten about by Hasbro? Well, I've got to admit, before the reveals that happened yesterday at Celebration, I honestly thought that Hasbro could well and truly have forgotten about it. It's been so long, hasn't it? But luckily for us, they are addressing it. And it's a really strange figure to give it to, really. It's one of the new Jedi Survivor figures in that 3-pack. I think it's the MagnaGuard, VC 188. So anyone watching that missed that live stream or missed my update video yesterday, VC 188 is going to be the MagnaGuard in that 3-pack. Michael Kaufman says, hey Bossk, with the release of Reva, do you think we'll get other Inquisitors using her body tool? This is a really interesting one for me because looking at that figure, I mean, at the end of the day, without being rude to the actress or anything, you know, she's quite a, how shall I put it, like stocky lady. She's not like super skinny, supermodel thin, is she? And that fits in well with the character. However, I think some of the other Inquisitors in things like Jedi Fallen Order, and maybe even the other Inquisitor lady, I think she might be the 5th sister or something like that, that is going to be in that show. I don't think they have the same body type, so it'll be interesting to see what Hasbro do. I didn't really check too closely with the Black Series whether they use some of the same parts or what have you, but you know, let's be frank about it. If they can get away with using certain parts, then they absolutely will. But I've got a feeling that this might be a one and done figure. She's quite, as I say, quite a stocky lady, if you want to put it like that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But of course, we do only have the one Inquisitor in the Vintage Collection, and the Black Series have them all. Extremely disappointing. Hopefully they address that over the coming year or whatever, and we do eventually get the rest of those, and we're not in the sort of Bad Batch situation that we're in at the moment. Kazi Production says, hey Boss, question for next week. Do you think we'll get a Book of Boba Fett style Cad Bane, and would it be carded one or a deluxe? I can't say whether it will be carded deluxe or, you know, plastic free packaging, whatever happens with that. But I've got a feeling that we will get a Cad Bane next year. I think it's a huge character and I just don't think they can avoid it, basically. I think we'll probably get it in both scales as well. But for the Vintage Collection, I think it's almost a dead cert for 2023. Unfortunately, that does line up with the plastic free packaging. So perhaps it will be a deluxe, I don't know. And even if it's not, I don't think it's going to look like this, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Stephen Novak says, great show again. I'll try my question again. How do you feel about multiple accessories that come with the figures, and how do you display them? I like it when they have holsters so you can display all the weapons, but when there is none, how do you choose? And with these multiple heads, helmets, how do you choose? I've bought multiples of some to display both. I haven't done that. I only open one usually, but I know that certain people have multiple sort of dioramas going on and they need multiple figures. So what I tend to do is I decide how I like the figure. So if it's the Bo-Katan, for example, I quite like that one with the helmet off, and then Koska Reeves would go with that one, the helmet off. So unfortunately the accessories for those just have to go in a little baggie and in a little box that I have under my desk. I have them there so I can easily get to them if I want to switch it out, but essentially, you know, those accessories, they're just going to be rattling around and they're going to get lost, so I have to store them somewhere. But that's essentially all I can do. The Donut Van says, hey Boss, question for next week. Would you rather have a HasLab for the Marauder with the Bad Batch crew, or the Ghost with the Rebels crew? Hell, or the Mantis with the Fallen Order crew? Man, that's a really tough question, because I think before the Bad Batch came around, you know, I really did want the Ghost and the Rebels crew. I think it's a two-way thing. It's like, I think I prefer the figures of the Bad Batch because they are very close to the Clone Wars. But in terms of the ship and the vehicle, I would love to have the Ghost in the Vintage Collection. So I think if I had to choose, it would probably be the Ghost, because that vehicle is great. Characters are a little bit more kiddie, aren't they, compared to the Bad Batch, but I could live with that. I would love to have Zeb in the vintage collection, for example. So yeah, I'll go with the Ghost. ST says, hey Bossk, love your videos. I'm a new subscriber. Besides your reviews, these Q&As are a must watch for me. So thank you so much, and thank you for subscribing. If anybody else is out there that's watching that hasn't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. My question for next week: as a droid lover, I'm very excited to see that new droid from the Kenobi trailer, Not Fallen. I believe his name was leaked via a Lego set as Ned B. My question is, do you think we'll be seeing him in TVC anytime soon, or is he going to be someone that we have to wait too long down the line? Hasbro never produces enough droids or aliens. Keep up the great work. I have to agree with that, and only yesterday in the reveals we had Antok Merrick's droid, which was for me a fantastic release because it really does like finish off that set with the X-Wing, and you know, he really needed his astromech droid. So that's that one done at least. I've put Fallen there because I think when we all saw that trailer, we all did think that it was Fallen, but you're absolutely right. I think it was confirmed that it isn't Fallen. It's a new Disney name basically, which tends to be the way things go these days. But if you haven't seen the Kenobi series so far, spoiler alert, you know, I'm just warning you right now. Unfortunately, the droid in question is already dead. He got blasted away. So will we see him in the vintage collection? I doubt it. Basically, I think there's going to be much more bigger characters that we're going to need from the Kenobi series. And if they were to do it, would they just repaint this guy? I really do hope not, because I personally don't think that this figure's good enough anymore. I've said on many occasions that I prefer the Disney version that came out from the Droid Depot or Droid Factory or whatever it's called. I much prefer that sculpt. So that's the conundrum with this one. You know, I think we already know now that he's gone. So he only lasted all of 5 minutes. But Hasbro have made characters that have had less screen time in the past, so never say never. But yeah, I don't think it's likely. A couple of questions now about the original 96, and we have the ILBFT man. He says, question for next week: with the recent reveals of the TVC Bespin Guards, Stormtrooper, Death Star Gunner, how many of the 96 are yet to be done? What is the number remaining of the 96 to be done? Concerned we have the remainder of 2022 and then 2023 we are forced to the new packaging. And yeah, this is the worry for a lot of people. I think with the plastic-free packaging on the horizon, I mean, I didn't really want to talk about this too much because it hasn't officially been announced yet, and you know, maybe they're going to do some almighty U-turn. I don't really know, but from my understanding at the moment, it's locked in, and that's the worry with especially for the original 96, because you know, I've put Luke Skywalker there. Now this is probably the most iconic card back ever. It's the main character, Luke Skywalker, the hero. And the image there is one of the most iconic images from all of Star Wars. So it would be a crying shame if we didn't get an updated figure in the vintage collection of the biggest character of the whole thing on the most famous card back. It would be a crying shame if it was just like a cardboard box with a picture on it and they didn't, you know. So maybe if they are going for the plastic-free packaging thing, maybe there's some way that the original 96 can escape that, and it's maybe in like a 4-pack box or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they do. But in terms of how many are left, I did a whole series about the original 96 and how many were left, but there's been a few released since then. So I'm guessing that the number is probably around 30, 35 that they still need to do. There's still a lot that they need to do, unfortunately. There is absolutely no way they're going to get them all done in this year, you know, no chance. And Bido Sukul says, fun video, thank you. Here's a potential question for you. In the effort to bring us the complete 96, do you think the remaining figures will be brought out in 2023 for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, or be split between 2023 for Return of the Jedi figures like Squidhead and 2025 for the 40th anniversary of Power of the Force for characters like Amanaman and the Imperial Dignitary? So just very quickly, I don't think Hasbro have ever sort of committed to finishing the 96. I think that's like a fan thing. I think they've done their best to get as many of them out there as possible, but they've never committed to actually finishing it. Now, when we talk about the Return of the Jedi, next year is going to be a good year for the Return of the Jedi. We're going to get some good stuff. However, it does again fall into that plastic-free packaging realm. So again, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. But I can say now that I know of at least one character next year that would be classed as a finish the 96 character that will be coming out from the Return of the Jedi. I think there may even be two that I know of, but it's going to be a good year for Return of the Jedi. if you're a carded collector with bubble and that's the be all and end all for you, and they do change it, then obviously it's not going to be a good year for you with Return of the Jedi. But again, it's all speculation at the moment. Until they actually announce something, we're just going to have to wait and see. Todd Smith says, hi B, any chance of a retro collection 3PO and R2-D2? So I've got these two here for you here. Now these are not the ones that they would do if they were to do them, because this is the removable limbs one and this is the periscope. I do have the other two, the original ones from Star Wars, but they're in a case and I can't really get to them easily. But I've just put these here because this just demonstrates why Hasbro didn't do these figures originally when they did the first round of retro collection. And it's all about the vac metallized parts of them. I think Hasbro have got an issue with that, something to do with the environment. I don't know the full story about it, but I think it's got something to do with the environment, basically. Environmental issues about producing this kind of stuff. Maybe there's another way that they can do it to get that nice shine. I really don't know. But that is definitely the reason why they haven't done them and why they continue not to do them. And until they get around that, then the answer is no. We won't be seeing those two characters. The next round of retro collection is the Kenobi series. And then after that, it will probably be the Return of the Jedi for next year. So, you know, until we get back to doing A New Hope, they won't even look at those two, I doubt. Todd Allen Breland says, Tim, question for next week. Will we ever get a Boba Fett in his Nomad Tusken garb figure for the Vintage Collection, Retro Collection? I feel like all the hate for the show may put the caboose on it. Thanks, man. No, I don't think so. I know there is certain people out there that really don't like the Book of Boba Fett, and you know, I'm on that side of things where I found it enjoyable, but it lacked seriously in some areas. But it's Boba Fett, isn't it? Boba Fett will always sell, in my opinion. I don't think they've had any problems selling the Nomad version in the Black Series, for example. And because we've now got the head of Tamura Morrison on the Boba Fett from Tatooine, from the deluxe set, they'll probably want to use that again. And the way to do that is put him on the Nomad figure. So I could potentially see that happening. I don't think the fact that we think the show wasn't successful as maybe The Mandalorian will stop them from doing that. Sometimes the negativity is louder than the positives, and you know, there are a lot of people out there that enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett, so yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Epic Jason X9000 says, question for next week, do you think we'll ever finally get either a Vintage Collection and or Black Series version of Gold Leader's Y-Wing fighter? It's long overdue and we haven't got a decent Y-Wing toy vehicle since 2012. You're absolutely right, it is well overdue. I can kind of count out the Black Series right now. I think they're done with those sorts of vehicles for the Black Series. I think they've realised that, you know, maybe like a land speeder is as big as they're going to get with the Black Series. It's just not the scale for vehicles. You know, the 3.75 inch is the scale for vehicles. When it comes to the Vintage Collection and the Y-Wing, obviously we've had a Y-Wing before, so they've got the sculpt. Would they repaint that in Gold Leaders? I would like them to do that. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about that. But I don't think we'll see that unless it turns up in some kind of new media. Maybe we'll see it at the end of the Andor series, maybe when it gets very close to Rogue One. Who knows? Yeah, I don't think they'll do it unless it's like in current media, if that makes sense. All right, then that's it for this week, guys. I do apologise. It's a short video this week. I've got a lot going on. There was other videos to do with the reveals and staying up late for celebration. And it's also my son's birthday as well, little Bossk. He's 9 years old. So I've got lots going on this weekend. So I do apologise for that. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support means a great deal to me, so thank you for that. And thank you all for watching, and we shall see you on the next one.